Hello, my friends. Welcome to this live stream where we are going to talk about the election. I am your host, Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy, author, queer person. This is Carrie Roldan, your business BFF, and one of my BFFs, and so much more. So, hi, Guillaume. Hi, everyone who's here on the replay and with us live. We are in the United States and we just had a presidential election, and it was stressful because usually in a presidential election, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, like everyone has some things that they're really passionate about, things that they want to see get done in their country, the ways they think they can improve the country, make it better. And even if we don't all agree, no one's really afraid of losing their life over who gets elected, right? There isn't usually a campaign run on hatred and racism and bigotry and anti stuff, right? Usually it's pro, so I want to do this, I want to do that. Unfortunately, this time, and we had it before, but I believe this was much more pronounced, much more in your face, much more utilized as a campaign strategy to get people to come on in. It was scary. It was really scary for a lot of people in this country. And so I want this session here that we're doing really to be a safe place for you to feel your feelings, to have people that are around you who care about you. I care about you. I care about me. I care about all the people who are going to be affected by this. I want you to be able to comment freely. If people are disgusting, I will delete it. And I also want to offer some ways of going forward that are productive, because no one can take your power away. All right. It feels like it. I know that. It feels like it, and bad things are going to happen. Okay. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this or spiritual bypass this. It's going to fucking suck. But no one can take your power away. And I really hope to be an example of that as best I can, and to provide resources. Carrie and I are going to talk about one that we're really excited about. So anyway, that is our intention. It's to let us feel things together in a safe way and to talk about how we can move forward without losing our minds. How about that?
I think that sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll start in processing my feelings. So, number one, I was surprised. I was surprised at the outcome. My expectation was that Harris would win. And I think this comes from choosing always to believe the best about other people, I just think I have, for the most part, unwavering optimism. And actually that is how I'm sort of choosing to deal with the result as well, is with continued unwavering optimism. But I kind of didn't know. So my unwavering optimism generally works to my advantage. I generally get what I expect. Things tend to work out the way that I want them to. And so experiencing, watching, I was doing my best all day long to not watch, to stay away from like what was going on, to know that like, oh my God, the early predictions are going to kill me, so to not let anything take my power away. And when I went to bed that night, and I had a friend who told me the same thing, we both said we went to bed before, even though we had an inkling of the way things were going, we went to bed before we knew, because we wanted to be able to go to sleep with some sense of hope. So I did wake up in the morning. I saw the results. And in 2016, when those results, the same result happened, I woke up the next morning feeling betrayed, feeling scared, looking around at my neighbors and being like, which one of you did this? Like, like who can I trust? Like, I had a very different response than I had this time. So this time when I woke up, I just thought, wow, we have work to do. Because I believe that the majority of the people in this country aren't hate mongers. I believe that the majority of the people in this country are not racists and bigots, and like I I at least I think they don't believe that about themselves, right? Like that.
That's true, but there's a difference,
So
right?
maybe,
Yeah.
but so like that's where I'm like, okay, there's work to be done, and I want to sit in the place like you, Rachel. I want to grow through joy. I want to grow through ease. I want to like live out my purpose in the world without raging against. And so and I think because over the course of the past 8 years, right? Well, one, maybe this say, I do remember what it felt like to be in a Trump presidency and how it has felt the past 4 years to be in a Biden presidency. And I choose the feelings, right, that I've had for the past 4 years, right? But anyhow, it was just like, it was a moment of like resignation, followed by a deep breath and choosing optimism. And so I don't yet know, like, are there actions to be taken? I'm still getting so many political texts being like, sign this petition, do that, right? Like, and at least for the moment, I am like, how do I choose unwavering optimism? How do I keep my faith in my neighbors? I live in California. The state of California voted for Harris, but even so, like, it was like less than 60-40, right? So a huge percentage of my neighbors um, are thinking a different way. So anyhow, that's how I woke up. I didn't wake up feeling betrayed. I think because it was more in the open. Like the last time people, at least the people around me, they may have secretly supported Trump, but they were like too ashamed to like say it out publicly. Now that's not the case. They were flying their flags. So I'm choosing acceptance and optimism. That's as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I was just reading in my Theories of Personality textbook, and there is this idea of optimistic toughness. And I was like, that's perfect for right now, because we do need to be optimistic for our own health's sake, for our own productivity's sake, to be good to anyone and ourselves. We need to remain optimistic, right? We still create our own reality. We still choose how we feel. That still has a very large impact on what our life looks like. Now, of course, we are living on a planet with other people. So if we look outside, we're going to see what other people are creating too. If we turn on the TV, it's going to be there. But we still have our power. But I think I wanted to really just explain a little bit about, if you are feeling betrayed, if you are feeling certain things about certain people in your family, like, that maybe didn't vote the way you wanted them to, friends, even loved ones, what are you going to do with that feeling? Because I think that's really weighing on people. How do I respond right now? Because I've seen a lot of people who voted for Trump saying like, oh, it's just an election, get over it. It's dumb if you are going to shun me, not talk to me, right? We're adults here. We can vote for different people. I totally agree. Everyone is here to vote for who they want to vote for, right? We live in a democracy. That's part of the deal. Like, you get to vote for who you get to vote for. But that doesn't mean that you now need to ignore your own feelings, right? Like I was telling Carrie earlier, I was in a relationship that was very verbally, emotionally abusive. Now, there were reasons for that. He grew up in extreme trauma and, poverty. Like, that's going to do something to you, right? That's the story of a lot of people in this country. He didn't mean to hurt me. He wasn't doing it intentionally, but yet his actions were harmful to me. So I had to put up a boundary, right? I had to say, we're getting a divorce and we're not speaking anymore, right? That is what you do for self-preservation. When there are people making actions that are going to be harmful to you, it's very normal to say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Okay. So, like, let that be okay. Let that be okay. Let this idea of found family be okay with you, right? I'm not saying you need to divorce your family. I'm not saying you need to like not talk to people, but if that's how you're feeling, that is okay. Like, I'm not overstating it that this is going to cause people to die. It already has. If women aren't allowed to have an abortion with an ectopic pregnancy, they could die. And people have died in parking lots because they can't get health care, right? Trans people, $215 million was spent on anti-trans ads. And that is going to hurt the kids who just feel like they want to be themselves. All right. Doesn't require surgery to be trans, doesn't require any kind of healthcare, medical care. For some, a very small few, yes. And that's life-saving. But to spend $215 million against a very small, less than 2% of the population is trans, only 2 surgeries ever happen in a prison. That's what they were talking about for gender reassignment care. How many thousands, millions of prisoners are there in this country, right? For-profit prisons, might I add. Okay, so it's okay to be upset. It's okay to say, I don't want to talk to you right now. It's okay to say, maybe we'll talk later. Okay. It's okay to feel how you feel because harm is going to be done. And yeah, everyone's on this planet for their own reason. We're all here. If we die, we still survive. Like, I'm still that person. Okay. I'm still that person. But we also live on this planet together. And I really love everyone. And I love you. And no matter who you voted for, I love you. But I just want you to know that that's the action that you chose, and that is how it hurts me. So, yeah. Preach. I am.
Okay. So I'm with you. And I suppose it is everything comes back to, right, our own energy, our own vibration. So I'm remembering how I responded in 2016, which was like, I don't want to know these people. I want to, like, these are, if someone voted that way, based on what I think it was like, at least for me, like just looking at the human being and listening to the words that come out of his mouth, right? So I'm like confused as to how anybody could hear what that person says and then take that and turn it to mean something different, something that's okay with what they want in their head. And so I really felt like I can't know these people anymore. I can't be friends with these people. I need to eliminate them from my life. And I guess what happened is when Biden got reelected, I felt like or I guess he got elected. All is right with the world again. Thank God. Like level heads prevailed, like I was there and I've been there for a while. And so what has happened though, is that over the past of these last 4 years, I have been able to find polite political discourse. And I have been able to speak the things that you just said, maybe not quite as eloquently, but speak those things without like looking at the other person and being like, you're just an idiot. Like, right, which is sort of how I felt before. I see a lot of that happening right now, actually, as people are posting. Both sides seem to be saying like, you idiots, anyhow. And there's something for me to be said about like changing hearts and minds, opening, right? Like, and maybe that is, so maybe what I'm hearing you say is like, hey, I've done a good job with my boundaries over the past 4 years, and now I'm able to like hold them and have conversation. Is that what you're telling me? What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, I care about who I surround myself with. And if they don't care about me, then we can't be friends, because that's friends care about each other. Part of caring about me is not harming me, not letting your actions harm me. Okay? So I have a uterus, right? I'm a queer person. Those are two reasons why, if you voted for Trump, you harm me. You harm me. Already in my state, lots of laws have been enacted in the last few years that harm me. And so I take it serious. I love myself. I love myself so much that I care about you. I care about not harming you. I want to do what's right for everyone. But that also means that I'm much more interested in talking to people who aren't going to harm me than trying to change minds of people who I cannot reach anyway. If you come to me, you listen to I'm very public.
Right.
Read my books, listen to my podcast, come here, read my Substack. Like, you're welcome here. You're totally welcome. You can't bully us, but I'm not intending to bully you. So you're welcome in my sphere, right? I live in Utah. I'm surrounded by people who voted for Trump and are really happy about it. Good for you. Okay. But like, you can't be a close personal friend of mine if you intend to harm me, and you do. So that is what I'm talking about. Like, my love isn't gone. My love is bolstered even more because, motherfucker, we need more love. Like, hello. So it's just, my boundaries are, I care about me. And if you want to be next to me, you need to care about me too.
I mean, that seems reasonable, guys.
Doesn't it? I think so. And I think it's also really, really reasonable for other people to feel this way as well, because I've been seeing a lot on Facebook, a lot on Instagram, a lot of fighting happening where we don't need to fight. You get to choose who do you want to be around, and it's okay to let go of people. It really is. You're not hating someone by letting go of them. You're caring about yourself, right? If that's how you feel.
There's a great deal of the population who feels relief, who feels like they now live in a safer place.
Great.
Right. So that is the paradox that I am observing.
Well, we've already talked about the diverging trains, right? That's the thing. If their train is going that way, we get to say goodbye. We get to say goodbye. It's okay. They're going on their journey. We're going on our journey. And that's okay.
So how are you guys feeling? I know that Rachel and I got a text from a friend this morning saying, I can't be there on the live stream, but thank you so much for doing this. Like, thank you for talking about this. So, I will tell you that I feel like I'm processing more quickly than, in general. Those of you who watch regularly have heard me say this over and over this past year. I did have a good cry yesterday. It was partially related to the election and partially related to like other things going on in my life, but crying it's funny how it's something that like I don't want to do, like I resist doing, and then when I finally do it, I'm like, oh, okay, so much better, right? So it did feel good to cry. Also, it felt really good for me today to lift heavy things, like to like do something physically challenging, something that was like just made me feel strong. That is a way that I've been like coping, right? Is like, okay. And this may not be what you're doing, Rachel. Oh, I think it is. You're saying you love everyone. But one of the ways that I love people, I am so distracted by one piece of hair that seems longer than the rest. It's not, guys. It's just not quite as curly as the other side. One of the ways that I love is I seek to understand. Right? It's why I'm amazing at the work that I do. And there is that instinct in me, right? That optimism, that belief that people are basically good. And so this like desire to understand what's on the other side, understand how good people voted for a bad man, like there is something inside of me in that. So there's an inherent curiosity that wasn't there last time. I don't know what to say about that. It's just how I'm processing. I'm processing through like, okay, how do I love? I love by trying to understand. So I'm curious. I don't know what I'll find, but I'm curious.
Well, it's interesting, people think they make decisions for one reason when it's really normally something else. We all do it. I do it. We all have this weird way of explaining ourselves that it, may or may not be true. So good luck. Good luck with that. I just think that, like, I was thinking earlier, I've been in a position in most of my adult life, maybe half my adult life now, where I was really in survival mode, and things were too expensive. And I didn't have a phone for a while. I didn't have a car for a while. Like I couldn't afford a $40 a month phone for a while, after I left my ex-husband. And so I've been in a place, I've never been homeless. So I can't speak to that. I've never actually known true poverty of not being able to eat. But I certainly haven't always had like modern luxurious life like most people, even lower middle class people have, or even people on food stamps have sometimes. And I was thinking to myself, like, that can definitely shield your worldview, right? You're thinking about yourself more because your basic needs need to be met. Yeah. But even then, I wasn't ever thinking like hateful things. I wasn't thinking I have to take from other people in order to have, so there's no real reason in my heart to go that way. I mean, I can't believe we did it a first time, to be honest, after the whole grab her by the pussy convicted rapist thing, but that just pales in comparison to what we know now with this year alone. I mean, he's going to be sentenced hopefully in a couple of weeks for his 34 counts of falsifying documents, fraud. He's a fraud. He has civil cases that are going to be tried next year that don't go away because of presidential immunity. Okay, he owes people hundreds of millions of dollars, which he doesn't even have because he's not really a billionaire. So I don't know. I mean, I think there is in the religious community, which you can practice any religion you want. I don't hate anyone because
At
everyone,
least for now.
there is a sense of giving your power away, right? So people who are raised to not be a critical thinker, to not pay attention to their own feelings, to think their own feelings are sinful, right? To give your power over to God, to give your power over to a leader. Like those people are primed for this, to believe the hate and to not question, to believe Fox News or whatever other non-news sources they're getting their information from, right? And so if you grew up like that, which millions of people in this country have,
So
I
many.
feel you. It's not easy to just completely abandon the way that you have been taught, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to start thinking for yourself, to start feeling for yourself. So there's a lot of reasons why people voted for him. And I truly do understand how it happened, but that doesn't make it right. And that doesn't mean I want to be close friends with you. So I wish you the best. And you take all my meditations and everything I'm saying, like, don't feel the need to hide from me, but that's how I feel.
That last thing you said about people who were raised to not critical think, I think I just forget that happens. Like so much that happens. And what is interesting is so many of those people are also believing that they're thinking critically, that they're seeing like that. I think is fascinating. But I digress because we could talk about all of the like the parallel universes and this. Let's talk about a safe place to be, because you guys are hearing my husband. Let's talk about the safe space that you and I are working on. Safe place to like feel yourself, know yourself, experience your own truth and power.
Yes. First of all, I want to say, Guillaume, you're incredible. You are more informed than most Americans, and you don't even live here. So bravo to you. Thanks for checking in on your friends. Yes. So as you know, Carrie and I have been developing an app all year, and we have trialed it, and people still use it from the trial months and months and months ago. We love it. We have just been sort of like waiting for the right time to release it to the public. We're going to do our major launch in January, right? Because that's when most people are looking for a meditation app, which ours is more than a meditation app. It's a community as well. But we're going to do our major thing there. It's going to be a paid app in January. But until then, friends, we want to welcome you in. We want to provide you with a safe space to be, like Carrie said, to know yourself, to find some comfort in this world, and to connect with us. And so until January, we're going to have a free portion of the app. You don't get to come to our group coaching calls, but you can opt into that if you want to. But if you want to connect with us, if you want our meditations through our app, be able to post in the community, post your intuitive art drawings, post your readings for the day, post your hello, keep track of yourself, get accountability on your own. That is what the app is all about. So we're going to have, within a week, I will email you an invitation to join the app for free as a way of us all coming back into ourselves, finding some grounding here, processing our feelings together, getting in the center of our heads and in our bodies and with our higher selves, and just getting a greater feeling like everything's going to be okay. So we're going to invite you into that within a week, and hopefully you'll join us, because it's already awesome. And I know with you, it will be even more awesome. So I hope you're looking forward to that, because I am.
I am too. And I'm just reminded of the last time I spoke with Intimate Alien. She reminded me, be the most powerful energy in the room.
Mm.
And that is what I love about the app, is that when I go in there, I get to reconnect with that. And that's why, I mean, how long ago we launched this for our Your Higher Self class. I think that was in April.
Yeah, April, May, June, something like that.
Yeah. And so many of us are still back in there every single day. It's that good.
Yeah. So we'll give you more information soon. And thank you for being here. And if you have more to say, please write us a comment. We would really love to read it. And if you want more from me, you can check out my Substack, Multidimensional Human on Substack. Subscribe for free. We're just, yeah, I feel very energized. I had an outline for you, but I told Carrie, I'm like, this is just going to go how it goes. So I will put some more information out about how you can use this to your advantage, what you can do to reconnect with yourself on Instagram. So go check me out there too.
All right, Rachel Archelaus. Thanks for this.
You're welcome. Well, it's just not over. It's not over. So we'll keep being here.
We will.
All right. Lots of love, everyone. We will see you next week. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Guillaume. Thanks everyone else who watches.